Hey everyone, welcome to week 4 of the Speke Hall Sew Along. I'm Sue Daley, and if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can click below, make sure you touch the bell, and that will give you the notifications as to when I'm releasing a new video. So week 4, another rectangular block. So we have a 4.5 by 8.5 inch rectangle at the top, then we've got some smaller 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles, 4.5 inch square, and our half square triangles. So again, remember, just follow along with your pattern. It's all laid out so that you can't make a mistake. I've done this pattern completely in colour, so you can follow along if you're using the Faith, Hope and Love collection, or if you're using your own collection, you might want to cut little squares up and place them over the top of my little squares there, so you know exactly which one's going where, so you know, because it could be a bit confusing down the track. So I would suggest you cut little squares and just stick them over those. That will help you a little bit. So what we're starting with, again, this is week 4, so I've got my little Alphabities on here with my clip so I don't forget when I go to sew all these together. I want to remember what blocks these are. So we have our 4.5 inch by 8.5 inch rectangle. Again, I've done my half square triangles first, so that when we go to sew it together, it's just one, it's really smooth just getting them together. So our half square triangles, our little rectangles across here. So I've got this one already, that's just one piece. So I'm going to sew this line along here, then I'm going to sew this section here, and then this section here. So then we'll sew them all onto each other. So what we'll have is just our white piece, then we'll have our next row, the next row, and of course the last row. Okay, so when you sew those all up, you will end up sewing them all up looking like this. Again, I used the glue on my seams. Give me some feedback as to what you think about the glue, that little method that I use. If you don't like it, it's okay. You know, it's not a problem for me if you don't like it. But if you do love it, let me know that you do like it, or if it's helped you a little bit, because you know, sometimes these little tricks help people so much, and you don't realize it's such a little thing. Often I've been out teaching and somebody's done something and I'm thinking, why didn't I think of that? Why did I not know that? It's so basic. But you adapt and you take on board things that you really like to do, and you leave the things that you're not comfortable with. So you know, in all of this, in the sewing world, there's so many rules and regulations and things, tips and tricks. Just take what you like and leave the rest. Make sure you know you've got a good fundamental understanding of how you're putting things together and seam allowance, etc, etc. But you know, try lots of things and just pick the things that you really enjoy to do, or the things that help you the most. And gluing my seams helps me, so that's why I do it. So that's week 4, and we're going to be back with week 5. Stay healthy, stay happy, and I look forward to seeing you next week.